famous mathematicians have discovered the complexity of numbers. I am the first one in the world that has discovered the simplicity of numbers. We have already learned that the brain cannot absorb pure data. So numeracy is to a student a forest, but he can't see the trees because of the forest. I have started with small groups that have something in common. 1827365 That's a small group because what they have in common is they add to 9. 1928375. What have they in common? Because they're all up to 9. And with the recipe system and the small group, we can proceed up the ladder. Because these small groups will lead us to larger groups. Most children are not good at maths because they don't know their numbers. Numbers baffle them because numbers have been presented as the forest. And you can't see the forest because of the trees. I have the pebble system. I lead you through the forest like Hansel and Gretel to get you back home. The school is throwing breadcrumbs, and of course that disappears. I use pebbles. So step by step the children come back home. We have the 9 recipe. It's always this 9 that's most intriguing because there are 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is an enormous important number. There is not a soul in the world that has discovered a pattern. That's why I call it the 9 recipe. 8 for the process 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. For 200 years, children have copied 2 times 9, 3 times 9, 4 times 9, 5 times, poor souls, and they still do it. And they still don't know the answer. Most of them don't know the answer. Remember, I teach maths. I use maths as a medium to practice the techniques used in professional memory training. Again, I'm the first one in the world, amazingly enough, that has used the system. Why is it 8 for the price of 1? So not 2 times 3 and 2 times 9, 3 times 9. That is a chore done at home. Kids wants to do something else. They want to grab their mobile phone and their whatever. But it's not numbers. So this is a chore to copy this 4 times a week. And because it is a chore, there is no interest. And if there is no interest, there is no learning. I discovered this 40 years ago. And guess what? The Minister for Education, Piccoli, when he was in opposition, he wanted to spend 900 million on improving literacy and numeracy. But that is, of course, he wanted to give that to the commercial enterprise to be elected. And now he is elected, and we are back to the misery that has lasted for 200 years. All big words. And because schools have become a commercial enterprise, 5 ministers have ignored me, including the Prime Minister. Not even a decent answer, thanks for your no. Because I'm a threat to the system. I'm laughing at the cows that consider themselves sacred. That is the problem I have. Schools are the most retarded system in the world. Everything is improving, from horse to car, from car to whatever to plane. But not the school. 2 times 9 is 18, 3 times 9 is 27, 4 times 9. It's the worst place to start your life, homeschooling. Okay, that's enough whinging. My daughter always says, Dad, stop your whinging, just tell him, give them the good news. That's what I'm doing now. This third 9 recipe tells me, I don't appeal to your brain, because at the primary school your brain is only a quarter of an adult brain. I appeal to your eyes. And of course, eyes, even if you have glasses, but they work. I'm teaching you again for the 3rd time to see that is 9. And to see that is multiplication. And then I give you 1 recipe to answer them all. Why am I ignored? I'm a threat to the bloody system. Sorry. The recipe. If a child says 9 times t, when he writes it out, he now knows because he just copies this. But if you ask him 9 twos, stop. As soon as the student starts to think, you have lost him. If I give you a recipe, you can start straight away. Shall we bypass the thinking? Because that's where it goes wrong. And the recipe is think 1 less and the partner. It could not be easier. Poor kids, they're still copying the timetables. Oh, that goes for all. Think 1 less in the partner, think 1 less in the partner, think 1 less in the partner, 54, 63, 81, 72, 18, 27, 36, 45, 54, 63, 72, 81. Times tables, that is the last one that people do in school. And of course they still don't know it. My grandson, when he was 20, he said, Opa, that's Dutch word for old pa, I still don't know my 9 times table. And I gave him this recipe and he knew it within 1 minute. That's why I call it maths in minutes. We have here 4 for the price of 1. And why is it so easy? Because we have already learned the little groups. We have learned to see even numbers. 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. That's our second lesson. Even numbers. So what's the fourth one? Hey, 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 hey. So putting it together, we are looking at 5 and even. We haven't been thinking yet. We haven't thought about the answers yet. But we are seeing that is 5 and even, 5 and even, 5 and even, 5 and even. You don't have to be a mechanic to drive a car. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like driving a car, you have to use your eyes. And now I'll give you the recipe. What's the recipe for 5 and even? Half the number and a nought. Half the number and a nought. 20, 40, less than half a minute. Not 2 times 5, 3 times 5, 4 times 5, 5 times 5. Homework. The worst thing. And I don't understand why they have been bluffing for 40 years, because schools have no jurisdiction outside the school grounds. Do your homework. Same thing. We have recognized, hey, 4 times is 6. What's the other one? Even, 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 even. I discovered it 40 years ago and the schools don't want it. Aha, excuse me. About 6 years ago, I did a video at Cathay Public School because the headmistress was not just the headmistress, but she's now a lawyer. So she was a person that thinks totally different. And after the video, she was called by the department, a rap on the fingers. She should not have done somebody without authorization. Authorization! No wonder she's not a mistress anymore. Headmistress. Okay. 6 and even, 6 and even, 6 and even. One recipe. Half the number and that number. This is numeracy in a totally different light. This is discovery. Hey, that's interesting. Half the number and the number. Half the number 4 and the number is 48. Half the number 2 and the number 24. And not a soul that wants to use it because they're too stupid to even learn it. It's for students, not for teachers, because they don't want it. The discovery of pattern. This is the first one 40 years ago. I was having a piece of paper and I said to myself, yeah, I know 3 4 is 12. But how can I teach it? How can I have children remember that 3 4 is 12? I know. It took me a whole week to see that if I count to 4, I've got the answer. 3 4 is 12. And only 1 second later, 5 6 7 8. This is extraordinary. The mind is a pattern making and a pattern using system. If you count to 8, you have, that's 2 for the price of 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3, 4 is 12, 7, 8 is 56. This is again seeing. Not 7 times 3 is, no. So this needs some help. Because if you say 7, 3, there's no way in the world, if you don't know the answer. So I only discovered it because I knew that 7, 3 is 21. And then when I wrote it down, I say to students, if you go from 7 to 3, do you go up or down? Down. What's the next number down? 2. What's the next number down? 1. So this one needs help, but it's still a pattern. And again, 2 for the price of 1, because now from 8 to 4 you go down, next one the down is 3, next one down. This is interesting numeracy. This is numeracy. So, if we have a 7 and a 3 is 21, then the 7 and the 4 is of course the double of 21. 8 fours is 32, so the double of that is then 64. Stepping stones. If 7 3s are 21, 7 6s is twice as much. And we have already learned double 2 is 4 and double 1 is 2. So we use a stepping stone. It's still a pattern, but this leads to that one. So I call that stepping stones. This is actually a pattern, but somebody has to tell you how it works. No. I've written this down. But if you don't know that 8 3s are 24, you will never get it. So, once I've told you, then you can remember. Because I'm not standing in front of the class, 8 3s are 24, no. I have a pictorial. You can see it. 8 3s, 1 to the left, 1 to the right. It is also a system. Here the answer is in front. Here the answer is behind. Isn't it logical that you have at least one where half the answer is in front and the other half is at the back? That is quite normal. In front, at the back, half in front, half at the back. Not so. 8 3s are 24. And you touch this 8 with your stick. 8 3s, 1 to the left, 1 to the right. 8 3s, 1 to the left, 1 to the right. So we have looking, we have seeing, that's looking, we have saying and touching. 8 3s, 24. That is 3 of the 5 senses. The 5s. Aha! We have done 5 and even, half the number and a nought. So now we do 5 and odd. This is 3 for the price of 1. Still a good deal. 3 and 5. I write this in a peculiar way because 3 and 5, 7 and 5 and 5 and 5. I do these two first. School I have to say 1 5 is 5, 2 5 is 10, 3 5 is 15. So the children, you hope that they see The even ones end in naught and the odd ones end in 5. Again, a pattern. So, 5 and odd, that's got to end in 5, so I already know half the answer. Ha! And what is the odd number before 5 and 3? That's 1, that's the answer. 5 and an odd number ends in 5, that's not a problem. I have to only figure out this one. 3, 5, 7 is the odd number before these two. 5, 5, so you know that it ends in 5. And there are your two hands. 5, 5 ends in 5 and your two hands. Man, this is brilliant. So as I say, most of them are pattern. The other ones you have to use professional memory technique, that is seeing and inventing a recipe how to remember it. Two sevens. So we don't say 2 sevens is Amma. You remember that a week has 7 days. So 2 times 7 days is a fortnight. That's not difficult. 2 times 7 days is a fortnight. That means 14 nights. Take this off, take this off, take this off. 2 sevens is 14. 2 sevens is a fortnight. 14 nights. This is just... Kids love this one. There is no pattern. So this one is... you need something to remember it by. Seven sevens. It's a fortnight. Not a fortnight. This is a fortnight. And this is a fortnight. Because 2 and 7 is 9. 7 sevens, a fortnight. 49, of course. This is the most interesting. This teaches you how to spell. Australians say February, so they only have 7 letters. But if you spell it correct, then you need 8 letters. See how professional memory training is exciting. Not just copying, done there, doing your homework, no. If 2 weeks are 14, then 4 of those is double 14 is 28. 4 weeks of 7 days, that's a month. A perfect month. And there's only 1 month that has 28 days. And that is February. You know, this is extremely... well, clever, I suppose. The perfect month is 28 days, which is February. And it is the second month and it has 8 letters. You know, this is brilliant. Here's another one that needs a bit of a professional memory training help. 3 threes, channel 9. 3 threes, channel 9. So the kids kids watch television for 4 hours a day, so this is channel 9, 3 threes. If 2 fours are 8, because when we were adding, instead of saying 4 and 4, now it becomes 2 fours. That's the same thing. 4 and 4 is 8. So 2 fours are 8. If 2 fours are 8, 4 fours are 2 eights. 16. So this is not a pattern. This is just that needs a bit of help. Sight and sound. If 2 fours are 8, 4 fours are 2 eights. 16. You give the answer in one hit. What I have done before is now in print. You couldn't find a better. So not 2 nines, 2 nines, 3, 2 nines out, 3 nines out, on the back of the toilet door. It doesn't work that way. So I go through the recipes again, because this is a professional page. We have discovered the 9, and we do 8 for the price of 1. Think 1 less in the partner. Think 1 less in the partner. Think 1. See how important it is to have learned the partners. 1 less, that was also a lesson. If you take 1 from a number, you get the number before. If you take 1 from a number, you get the number before. We did that before. 1, 8, 2, 7, 6, 6, 4, 5, 5, 4. We have done this. We've done the partners. Think 1 less in the partner. Think 1 less in the partner. Think 1 less in the partner. Because in the first or second lesson, we did the 9 partners. Skinny one with the fat one. 2 looks a bit like 7 except for the foot. 3 goes with its own double. And 5 and 4 are next door. The 9 recipe. Think 1 less in the partner. Think 1 less in the partner. Less than a minute, you're 9 times stable. But this is in a beautiful print. All my other work maths is done by hand, but this is brilliant. Count to 8, and the answer is in front. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3 4s are 12, 7 8s are 56. Two twos is the same as 2 and 2. 3 twos. 2, 4, 6. Even if you count 3 twos. 2, 4, 6. So that is the first lesson. This is the one we go from 7 to 3, so you need a bit of help. 1 down, 1 down. 7, 3, 2, 1. So they come in pairs. A pair, so we have 8 for the price of 1, 4 for the price of 1, 2 of those, 2 for the price of 1, 7, 3 to 1, 8, 4, and these are the doubles. If 7 3s are 21, 7 6s is 42. If 8 4s are 32, 8 8s is 64. Thank you very much. Nobody has ever seen it before. Poor kids are still copying. So we've done this in handwriting, so this is in beautiful calligraphy. 5 and odd. You can't see the 3 and the 7, that's funny. So when you write the timetables out, you still do that. 1 5 is 5, 2 5 is 10, 3 5 is 15. So you see that the even ones end in naught and the odd ones 1, 3 end in 5. So that's a good start. So we have 5 and an odd one. Of course it ends in 5, and the odd one before 3 and 5 is 1. 5 and odd, well it ends in 5. And the odd one before these two is 3. How many 5s? 2. 5 5s, so that ends in 5, you know that. And then you say, how many 5s do you see? 2, that's the answer. Channel 9. 8 3s are 24, you can't see that very well. This you can hardly see, but this is, again, the magic 9. 3, 6 and 1, 8. 1 and 8, this is 1 and 8 is the first one, this is the third one. So half the third one is the first one, half 36 is 18. And 3 6s are 18. This is the 36 and 18 and 9. They have 3 things in common. They add up to 9, half 36 is 18, and 3 6s is 18. 8 3s are 24. One more to go. Oh no, 2. Well, this is, if 2 4s are 8, then 4 4s are 2 8, 16. 2 weeks, 14 nights. So if 2 weeks is 14, then 4 weeks is 14 and 14 is 28. So far you've done the work. Professional memory training tells you never to give this or that. The brain cannot have it. So this is only out of interest in spelling. So this is a discovery and a half. So I have to tell you. 4 7s, the shortest month of the year. February. February has 8 letters. It's the second month and 8 letters. 4 7s are 28. A week and a week, a fortnight. So now we can already do this. The 9s, think, let's do the 9s first. Think one less in the partner, 18. Think one less in the partner, 36. Think one less in the partner, 54. Think one less in the partner, 72. 5 and even, half the number in the note. 6 and even, half the number in the note, 12. 2 2s are 4. 1 2 3 4, 3 4s are 4 3s, the same is 12. 7 3s, 21. If this is 21, this is of course 7 6 4 2. Doubles, 12. Think one less in the partner. Think one less than the partner. Think one less than the partner. Think one less than the partner. 5 and even, half the number and a note. If 2 twos are 4, 1, 2, 2, 4, 6. 3 twos are 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We pass the answer, 56. 8 fours, 1 on the left, 1 on the right, 32 I mean. Just go down, 1 down, 8, 4, 3, 2. And this is the double. If this is 32, this is 64. 6 and even, half the number and a note. Five and even, half a number and a note, 30. Channel 9. 8 threes, 24. Shortest month of the year, February, 28 days. Half the number and that number. Ends in 5. And the odd number in front, 15. Ends in 5. How many 5s do you see? 2, 25. 2, 8, 16. 5 and even. Half the number and a note, 40. 3 and 6 is 9, 1 and 8 is 9, half 36 is 18, and 3 sixes are also 18. I think this is the most famous. Well, 2 weeks is a fortnight, 14. A week and a week is a fortnight. So this is, you need a bit of help. 6 and even, half the number in the number, 48. 5 and odd, it ends in 5, and the odd number before these two is 35. If 2 twos are 4, 2 fours are 8. And if 2 fours are 8, 4 fours are 16. Thank you very much. Next time we do division, oh no, algorithms of course. This course is called